Go ahead and waste your days with thinking.
Oh, in the end. No.
Nope.
What is it?
When something...
It ends tonight.
Go ahead, move. It's move along. Move along.
All their
just to
sounds
know
sound
you
exactly the
do.
same.
And even when you're hoping... Yeah. I saw this thing about All American Rejects touring, but they're not doing like stadiums or like actual like venues or like regular venues. They're doing like bowling alleys and
That's kind of cool.
and like backyards and shit. And like there's a video of the lead singer of All American Rejects being like, yeah, we don't want you guys to pay fucking Ticketmaster fees and $25 parking to come see us. We're touring for you guys. Come have fun with us. And I was just like, dude, fuck yeah.
And it reminds me of like old Nirvana videos.
Right? Yeah.
They're charging they were charging like $10 a ticket or something like that.
I think it was going up to like 15 or 20. And
Yeah.
like, God, that's ridiculous. And like Madonna charges 50. What?
Yeah, they were like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, I was just like, yeah, I was watching that video. I was like, it's really, I just felt like it just made me feel cool. Well, I guess it made me feel cool. I don't know. Not feel cool. Made me feel good. That's the word.
There you go.
I don't. Move along, move.
Got it. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is
Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. It's pronounced Furiosa, not Furiosa.
Welcome back, everybody. This is TJ's mixtape. I'm Tommy. That's Jacob. We are a movie review podcast. We like to talk about movies, who made them, who's in them, some themes of it. At the end of it, give an arbitrary rating. If we liked it and you didn't, or vice versa, tough titties.
Yeah. I just imagine tough titties.
Titties that are tough?
Yeah. Just rock. Just pop, 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 pop. Or pop, pop, pop.
I would assume that's the ones that can smash soda cans.
Those are just heavy.
Well, they're tough. They can't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the blob just absorbs the vibration.
Okay. Anyways, no more about titties. So, so your first time listening to this,
we don't talk about titties.
We don't talk about titties the whole time. But we do play a game where at the end of each episode, we bring up two actors and then find a connection. It is a connection game. So
connect to the stars. .xyz.
So if you listened last week, the two stars we had were Julia Roberts and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
What's funny is every time you say last week, I think you're going to bring up what the connection we made last week was. And then you start saying what we're doing this week for the connection. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So I was like, where do you have that written down? Like, where are you pulling this out from?
I usually do write them down.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you're just looking at your laptop and whatnot, and I can hear that.
You can?
Yeah.
I can't hear that.
Stop. But yeah, I always think that then you bring up like, oh yeah, so this week we're doing Dwayne Johnson to Julia Roberts. Why don't you start off with yours?
Okay, so I have Dwayne Johnson in Jungle Cruise with Emily Blunt.
I was trying to figure out an Emily Blunt one. Yeah.
Emily Blunt in Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Tom Cruise in Interview with the Vampire with Brad Pitt.
Ah.
And then Brad Pitt in The Mexican with Julia Roberts.
Nice. Brad Pitt is also part of my connection.
Oh. What is yours?
Or it could be actually. It's Brad Pitt or George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
Also, did you know that Julia Roberts is in like 5 movies with George Clooney, including the Ocean's movies?
And don't they have like a new one together?
Yeah, no, they're in a lot of stuff. I mean, they have great chemistry.
Yeah,
but it's just like I feel like Julia Roberts and George Clooney have worked together more than like a lot of other actors in Hollywood. You know, like a weird like an acting duo. Like they're weirdly up there.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, so I got Dwayne Johnson in Red 1 with J.K. Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Simmons is in Burn After Reading with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, for those two. And Julia Roberts is in the Ocean's movie with Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Or you can do The Mexican with Brad Pitt. Or you can do, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that Dwayne and Brad Pitt both made it into our...
Take out Julia Roberts and we got Brad Pitt into one really quick.
Yeah.
I was really trying with The Mexican, James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano, because he plays the bodyguard or the
I forgot he's in that movie.
He's in the He's like one of my favorite characters in the Mexican.
Isn't he like a closeted gay hitman?
I don't know if he's closeted so much as because he's a hitman. He can't really like just live a normal life.
That's like machismo kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and like it's like the thing that makes Julia Roberts' character kind of like feel safe is she realizes like, oh, he's not interested in me in that way at all. So I actually weirdly feel safer with this body or this bounty hunter than I would with another bounty hunter type thing.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. And I was just kind of looking it up because I was trying to be cool for Dwayne Johnson. And apparently James Gandolfini's character is in Get Shorty for like a bit part, and he is credited somewhere in Be Cool as well, but I couldn't figure that out. And then the red one came up. My voice sounds different today. Do you hear that? Maybe it's just in my head. Silence.
So what we're doing today?
What movie did we watch, Tommy?
We watched Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
You've been wanting to watch this for a while.
Yeah. Starting off, did you like it?
Yeah, it's fine.
I love this movie.
Do you like it more than Fury Road?
No.
Okay.
I don't. But this is one of my...
You just also really liked the Mad Max world.
Yeah, this is one of my franchises that I could just watch over and over again. I like this franchise a lot.
There was a lot of things of it that it always like catches me off guard with like some of the like the cool details that George Miller does in these worlds. And like I'll just really quick and then we can get into everything else. Like the very beginning with the motorcycle chase, and she keeps like salvaging parts off of their wrecked cycles to like build up hers, and they're kind of doing the same thing. It's just like this really cool, like quick scavenge, rebuild, keep chasing.
It has like a lot of video game energy.
Yeah. I wanted to play the Mad Max game so bad after watching it. And it's just not that good of a game.
It's not, and I put it on the other day, and it's really aged.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's such a bummer too. Like that would be a cool video game world to revisit, because playing that initially, that game was so fun.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have the same going back to it.
Man, that sucks.
But it's still fun because also like it has world elements like the big storms.
Yeah.
You have to manage your shit while being hit by one of these end of the world storms, and I don't know, it was cool. But yeah, I tried to go back to it and I was just like, it's just a little rough.
Yeah, it's fair.
And it's not like, like Witcher 3, like if you play the OG one.
There's I mean, you also have just like a hardcore nostalgia for Witcher 3.
Yeah, so. But it's still pretty rough mechanically, but the writing's so good it makes up for it, and the Mad Max writing just isn't that good.
And nostalgia will go so far for that though.
Yeah.
Like we kind of talked about it on the banter episode, I think. But this video game is like, there's games that have like the clunkiest goddamn mechanics, but I have such hardcore nostalgia for it. I'm familiar with the clunky mechanics, so it doesn't bother me.
Well, sometimes a game will be so broken that it's actually fun to try and...
Well, that's a different thing as well.
I was thinking like Dark Void.
Yeah.
That's the one I think about. That game was so broken, but it was so fun.
Yeah, but you're finding enjoyment out of the brokenness as opposed to like you have nostalgia because you've overcome the brokenness.
I wonder if that would work on the Xbox One.
I don't know. But let's talk about Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
So if those that haven't seen it, a quick little synopsis is: an abducted girl navigates a strange, bizarre, post-apocalyptic world to find the man who murdered her mother.
I feel like that's what it turns into again. Because I was thinking about like her character journey and arc, and we'll get through it in more in the review portion. But it definitely it changes and grows throughout the movie because they actually do a good job of like telling like a full life story of the person in a very short term way.
I kind of think that is a hindrance to it a little bit,
and I agree as well.
I think it's almost kind of too much.
It's you can't have your cake and eat it too type thing.
Just under a different context.
Yeah. Well, this came out last year, 2024, around, this time exactly. Literally a year ago.
Oh, well, the happy accident.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's do it. So Cannes 15th, May 15th, 2024. Then USA theatrical release May 24th, 2024. I recounted for 2024. How many movies do you got now?
33.
33.
Nice. I was actually kind of surprised how high it was.
I went back because we'd had our 2024 block a couple months ago. Mine from The Substance is increased by 10 movies.
I didn't even look at that, actually.
Do 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 do. The answer is go fuck
30.
yourself. 30?
Yeah, so I watched 3 more.
Just the 3 movies that we watched. For. I went on a watch binge apparently. Well, I watched like a Nora and a handful of other stuff. You know, so, that's funny. We're both at 33. This was kind of a box office. It was interesting story with its box office, how it's a box office disappointment. But with what it did for like the Australian like film economy was really cool.
Yeah,
because it opened up a lot of jobs for people. But it had this like inflated huge budget that was even a much larger budget than Fury Road was by like triple almost or something. And it only made like 176 million in box office.
Yeah.
And it was budget all total was like 300 to almost 400 million. Like,
yeah.
It was absurdly large.
It looks it.
Yeah, exactly that. And it was a lot of it. It's a flop and a failure in that sense because it didn't make its money back, but it still made a lot of money. It's just this amount of money that was put into it. Like I can see studios being really trepidatious on wanting to do another one with this because like this world is so large and to do it proper, you really need to have a budget that big. But, and also I was reading one of the reasons why a lot of people think it didn't do so well in the box office. Not only is this a very like, niche, style or kind of film, like story wise, land pirates in Australia type thing, in the future. It's a prequel technically and an origin story, a thing that a lot of people in, the film world have gotten, film viewers have gotten a little bit, tired of.
Well, and I think that, you're taking the Max out of the Mad Max is always a risky move, but I do think that they did it really well in here.
I do as well.
Because Furiosa also became such a fan favorite from Fury Road.
Yeah.
Which also, if y'all didn't know, we did review Fury Road episode 90,
yeah.
I want to say. So,
and it was like our movie of the year, too.
Yeah.
It's like, it is probably one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. So this is kind of fun for us to continue on.
Yeah, and this is our first time ever doing a like sequel prequel thing.
I mean, we did Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I guess. Hold on a second. I need to fix your camera.
What?
You're sitting up a lot more straight than you were just getting no head.
Oh.
But yeah. Well, let's get into it. Writer, director, creator of the Valhalla universe is what they're calling it, and I liked that because of what it is. George Miller, who yes, of course, we talked about Fury Road. He is the creator of the Mad Max world, the Valhalla universe. Also has done Happy Feet.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yep.
And because we also brought up Witches of Eastwick, who were like kind of weird career.
Very strange career. I do appreciate, though, I see it now, maybe why Fury Road, because like Mad Max is so early in his career, that it's kind of like, with Peter Jackson starting off with
that's a good
Brain Dead and
because then it's
Meet
like
the Feebles and stuff like that.
Because it's like watching the first Mad Max and how low budget and everything. That movie's really cool from a making a movie standpoint. Yeah. That movie's so rad and how they did things and, like the fact that we were so low budget and they were so low budget and they like are destroying these cars and you're like, they had one shot.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene with a van that gets totaled and you're just like, man, everyone was sitting on the sidelines. Like if this doesn't work out, this is going to really fucking suck. It's really fun to watch it. So think of the original Mad Max and then go to Furiosa and where we've come.
Maybe just Fury Road.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying in the context of this because that's what we're talking about, and just the fucking scale that it has become. It's such a cool evolution for a film franchise.
Well, and that's what I was going to kind of go into saying about with George Miller is that because yesterday we were talking about Fury Road as well, and how I was talking about how the lightning in a bottle it was of such a great movie it was with everything. And it's like, I don't think George Miller fully knew what he was writing. I kind of take that back. The amount of time he spent in Hollywood doing other stuff like Happy Feet and Witches of Eastwick and other stuff, he obviously, as one should, as they, continue to make films, learned how to make damn good films.
Well, that's the thing though too. And I had a comment to that. And I was like, I'll just save it because of today and didn't want to get into it too much. I think that for a sequel prequel thing, this is pretty damn close to the quality of the first one.
It's damn near almost T2 worthy of
it's
praise.
Almost there. And I think it's a pretty damn good movie. It's the only thing is, and I think it's inherently with prequel stuff, there is fan service, which I just have such a love-hate for. Excuse me. Because it's like the first one, the whole mediocre war boys.
I didn't hear mediocre once in this movie.
Did they never say mediocre?
They never say mediocre.
Oh, they had to say mediocre.
I would have fucking chanted it back at the screen.
And that's kind of what it was. And that's what it is. It has all
mediocre wasn't trending yet. Okay.
Well, it had all of the check marks, the boxes checked that Fury Road had. It just didn't do it enough. Like some of Fury Road is really funny. Bless you. In a dark apocalyptic way. It's not supposed to be haha funny, but it's And this had a little bit of it. Well, but didn't really.
A big thing of Fury Road was the amount of it that was actually in camera effects as well.
And you could tell that this felt a little more.
That was one thing that bothered me. It took me out a couple of times was the clear CGI that was happening. It still looked pretty, but it's still kind of like meh. Like there was a moment with the very beginning when they're escaping the first raiders on the bike, the young Furiosa and her mom, and like the cliffs are moving in such a weird way, and it's like this is clearly like a backdrop of some sort.
Well, that's what it is though. And because even then it's like you have that, so that didn't fully check the box, and then there's even the whole like relationship between Furiosa and Jack, which is kind of a parallel.
It's a rushed one.
Yeah, it's a parallel to the relationship she gets with Max later, because even the way that Jack is presented, his whole vibe is Road Warrior. His jacket and his, he even kind of he could have been a great casting for Max. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like that was also that kind of fan servicey thing, but then also the push, they didn't click, which is only funny too because Charlize Theron and
Tom Hardy
had such bad blood in the first one, but it's that Joey thing from Friends is like they had chemistry on set, had no chemistry off set, and that's it's like, well, it made the movie better, so I guess if they hated each other.
I mean, the chemistry that was on set, on camera, was probably because of the tumultuous relationship.
Because
it's a tumultuous relationship on screen.
Yeah, and it just worked out great.
It's interesting you're calling that some of that fan service because.
What? Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying. I wanted to say that. And also say we need to save more of this for later.
So directed and writer George Miller, along with
writer Nick Lathouris, who also only wrote Fury Road with George Miller, is more of an actor than anything. But starring this. Let's talk about who's starring in this one.
I just put down the two, and I was gonna kind of follow your lead.
Okay.
Because it feels like a lot, and I didn't.
I just did three others for like a quick shout out.
Okay, I got overwhelmed by it. So, our lead, who plays Furiosa.
Anya Taylor-Joy,
who have we done?
We have not.
Oh,
we have mentioned the menu before.
I've talked about Queen's Gambit.
Yeah,
because I was watching that for a hot second. We talked about New Mutants.
Yeah, Glass split. I feel like we may have brought up the Unbreakable universe. Why did you look at me all bright-eyed?
Because I just realized that would be really fun to do all three of those.
Do Unbreakable, Glass, and Split.
Do a whole,
or Split then Glass.
A whole nother trilogy thing.
That could be an interesting one to do.
Because that those movies are so much time and so a span, like.
Well, Split and Glass are pretty close to each other,
but they're really different.
They are.
They're very different movies, very different vibes. Split was cool. Glass was cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember Unbreakable.
Unbreakable is the best of all three.
Well, yeah,
because it's more of a melodrama, which is nice.
I remember. It's quieter.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a origin story of like a real person
Yeah.
And then she's also Princess Peach in Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Peaches. I love you.
That was nice.
Thanks.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth is next.
Who plays Dementis? And okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. She was great, but me and my villains, I loved him in this so much. He was
Captain Jack Dementis.
Yeah, Captain Jack Dementis, Australian land pirate.
It's Jack Sparrow.
It was Jack Sparrow. He was out of his mind, and he looked like he was having so much fun. And this is one of those, like, some people talk about, oh, I want to be like a Bond villain. Like, I want to act as a Bond villain. I want to be a Mad Max villain because these dudes are wild.
They're characters.
They're so fun.
That's the way to put it. They are characters.
They're so fun. Every single one of them just seems like so fun. It's all like, they all remind me of like the Dennis Hopper in Waterworld, but like really actually well done.
I could see that. Yeah.
They're all just wacky. They're all wacky guys that are doing wacky shit. And it just seems like such a fun role.
The whole thing when he has the chain to his nose and nipples, still I don't understand.
You out loud went, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're like, it's Mad Max, dude.
I know that's kind of. I was like, when I was like, what? I was about to like pause it and be like, what the fuck even was that? I was like, it's Mad. I literally in my head was like, it's Mad Max.
Yeah,
like,
because it's like the first villain we meet. His name is Toe Jam.
Yeah.
The other main bad guy is the People Eater. He's constantly just caressing his boobies. The entire movie is just like literally just pinching his chest.
Did you notice his reaction when the nipples came off? Chris Hemsworth, we did. In Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, we did. What episode was that?
Cabin in the Woods. I don't know. Cabin in the Woods was it got to be like maybe like 56 or 7. What? Okay. 107.
It's funny. It's 157.
Oh, so it was year 2, 3? Year 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Season 3. Okay. I thought it was second season. Oh.
No, it might have been second season.
No, that would have been fourth season.
It was fourth season.
Whoa. Okay.
I can't believe, I don't know. But also with Chris Hemsworth, he's one of those guys. He's so famous to me, but he's only been in like 57 movies.
And it's because he's Thor. We've seen him in so much shit.
It's like I totally get it because it's a paycheck and good for you and it's good money.
Yeah.
But this whole being in Marvel thing kind of feels like a huge detriment to your career. Like I get what Robert Downey Jr. was talking about now.
That's why Chris wanted to do this movie. Did you read that?
No.
He really wanted to do especially this villain, this Dementis.
Well, he wanted to be in the first one.
He wanted. He
tried out for Max.
Yeah. But he didn't have a big enough name yet.
Which I thought was weird. Because I also don't feel like Tom Hardy at the time really had the name behind him.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Did you? Really?
Oh, 100%, yeah. He was already Bane before that.
Yeah, but you don't see... Okay, but you don't see him. And and also, great, and then half of Fury Road, he's wearing some shit on his face. You also don't see his face that much in that. You know what I mean? I'm like, your character has got his face covered half the movie. Like,
they realize that in Bane that he can do that.
And they don't talk. Okay. Max never talks.
Cool. Let me finish about my Chris Hemsworth story.
And I was dying into it.
I know.
Because I thought he would have been a good Max.
I think he would have been a great Max too, actually. Probably really a better casting than Tom.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. But I just think I think that they're both good choices.
Looking at Mel Gibson's Max.
Mm-hmm. I think Tom Hardy way fits that more.
Really?
Because that quality. Hemsworth is very pretty. He's very.
I see.
He's a Norse god, and then Hardy plays the
all right, fine, whatever.
the mentally ill schizophrenic better.
Chris Hemsworth was excited and wanted Dementis because he wanted to, and he's been doing this like any role that he's done outside of Marvel in the last like decade or half a decade, he's generally played some type of like villain.
Well, yeah, like the El Royale Hotel movie.
I never watched all of it all the way through, but I know he plays a psychopath in that.
And he's great.
He's great. And then also there's one where he's like controlling this like social experiment with people. Yeah. The spider something. Yeah. And then this where, I mean, and like he wanted to, because he wants to show like, because he understands what Marvel, like being Thor, has done, like has pigeonholed him. He wanted to show that I can play these like more like complex character who's like, who comes across very shallow and just like a psycho, but then you find there's a lot more ticking behind this character than actually is like really presented in a way, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then just really quick for the rest of the actors that I got, I have Tom Burke just for Proteera. What is it? I want to say Praetorian Jack. Who is in a show for The Musketeers, plays one of the Musketeers, which I figured you might be interested. And very young him in a Dragonheart sequel. That was a TV movie. And then I got Alila Brown, who plays young Furiosa, who was in 3,000 Years of Longing. That was another directed George Miller movie. I think written directed George Miller movie.
Oh, she's in Sonic 3.
And then I wrote down Lechi Holm as well, who is also in 3,000 Years of Longing, who is our replacement for Immortan Joe, because Hugh Carey Byrne
like died right after Fury Road.
Pretty much right afterward. Yeah.
That was his last movie.
And I feel like...
Oh, yeah, because he was the bad guy in the first Mad Max.
Yeah.
He was Toe Jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was his name?
I can't remember. I'm just saying yes to you.
Right now. I forgot that was a cool little... Like, they brought him back as another villain.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot about that.
So, and Lechi Holm did a really great job of... And there was originally a thought of just, like... using somebody, like without showing his face or something... But Lechi Holm was like, I really think I can capture what his performance was, and I think he nailed it.
I think so too. I just think the only thing that was not great was the voice, because Morton Joe's voice was such a presence. But you could also, the argument could be this was also
a younger one,
15 years earlier. So
I feel like he did it stand out.
Oh yeah, I think he did a good job,
even with the voice. I think like I was like, meh. Because you also don't know what Hugh Carey Byrne was like manipulating his voice to do to create that, and it could have just Immortan Joe a little bit more calm. But yeah, that's everybody that's in this. Let's get into reviews so we can get into our review. So on IMDb, it has middle of the road high. I'll say 7.5, which I was like, I felt very fitting. Because I think Fury Road has like a 9 on IMDb.
Let's look real quick.
And then on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 90% tomato meter and an 88% popcorn. So it's reviewed and just very well received.
So it has an 8.1.
8.1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually kind of curious. Something real quick.
What are you looking at? The rest of them?
No. I just wanted to know, when was Fury Road released again?
2011.
2015. Holy shit. May 15th, 2015.
2015.
So this is also the 10-year anniversary of Fury Road.
Interesting.
Look at that. Just look at it. Just popping them out. So on Metacritic, this has a 79, which comes to generally favorable, with 53 positive, 10 mixed, and 1 negative.
Mm-hmm.
At the tippy top with 100, there's a bunch of 100s, but this one I liked. At Empire from John Nugent. The chassis may look familiar, but there's a very different engine driving Furiosa from that of Fury Road. It's a rich, sprawling epic that only strengthens and deepens the Max mythology. It shall ride eternal.
I like that one because that's so true. It's like one of the biggest things I really thought about through this that kept coming back to my mind is how well George Miller knows this world and has been able to build this world, and now it is such a thing in the zeitgeist of film mythology in a way, I would say, that it can only just become larger. The world can only become bigger, more interesting. And because there was a moment at the very beginning of it, I was wondering, where is it supposed to take place in the whole, in all of it? Because some of these vehicles look way too not souped up or ravaged, how a lot of them, the War Boys vehicles kind of look and whatnot. But then as they built this world larger, I was like, oh, there's Bullet Town where their stuff looks more like this. There's this group of people where their stuff looks more like this. The War Boys and the Citadel where their stuff looks like this. And I was I started to gain a little bit more appreciation of it all.
Well, yeah, and then you have the buzzards, the outliers that lay out in the hills.
Yeah.
And that's where they're scavengers and stuff. Well, what I think about that though too is the fact that from what I was saying about the first one going into this, it's the Fury Road was kind of a big departure.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. But it was a departure in a way that really solidified of this is the world now.
It was a departure, but it still felt like it, because Beyond Thunderdome is just a wild, weird fucking movie.
But it's it created this identity, and then with this prequel thing, when it was coming out, I was stoked. I was fuck yeah, just more Mad Max, let's go. But I was worried when watching it if it was going to lose its identity in some way, especially just because Max wasn't in it and he has been that character has just been the face for so long. But then, they're okay, well, we're going to do this other one with this other fan favorite, this new character we introduced, Furiosa. And I just think that they did a really great job of keeping this live, vibrant world wacky.
Yeah.
Looney Toony. But it's like you were saying too about how it's Mad Max. You just find yourself eating the whole movie's a carrot, and you're just you just go with it. You're yeah, why not? They're parasailing through the desert, throwing grenades at and you just go cool. Like that scene, as soon as the parachutes came out, I went, what? I completely forgot about that. Because you first see him with those little skiing shoes, and I was what are they? Okay, they're just gonna cruise along, and then and I was just all right, this is cool. But yeah, I thought that was cool because this is just a world where it's really cool to expand more on the mythos that you're creating.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think this one did a really good job of that.
I do as well.
For mixed with a 60 by David Rooney at The Hollywood Reporter, Anya Taylor-Joy is a fierce presence in the title role, and Chris Hemsworth is clearly having fun as a gonzo wasteland warlord. But the myth-making lacks muscle, just as the action mostly lacks the visual poetry of its predecessor.
I agree with that.
I thought that was interesting because I didn't think the myth-make is what we just said. I think that the myth-making...
Oh, yeah, that would... Yeah, that guy's... Yeah, no, that's...
It did that great.
Yeah.
It just creating more of this backstory for Furiosa and just making us like her more and seeing her hardships. But action lacking? No. This is not action lacking. It's
not action lacking, but it definitely doesn't have the same punch that the first one did.
No, because it is missing the visual poetry.
Yes.
But I am still, and I will die on this hill, very impressed that they could have a 25-minute long chase scene through the desert, and it is just... Watching it again was this is still so entertaining. Sometimes that stuff...
It's still poetry in motion, just not as good a poetry.
No, it's just not as... but it's still pretty good damn poetry, because that scene, there's so many parts moving, and there's so much going on, and then the end shot with the spiral, the octopus kite getting eaten up by it's just, you're that was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And then the end of it, too. She's pull over, and then he kicks her out, and is But that kind of goes into the fan service thing I was talking about, because that right there, when he tricks her and kicks her out of the car, very Mad Max. He basically did the same thing, and that's where I feel the fan service thing kind of.
Okay, so I guess we'll have this conversation now. I see what you're saying with fan service because it's an homage to that, but I didn't really feel the fan as a fan. The fan service is generally let's just feed all these Easter eggs to make you oh, remember when that happened?
That's what that felt like to me, though.
But Jack is like there is yes a parallel between him and Max, but I also just feel like in this world that's what a road warrior is.
Yeah, but he's not a road warrior.
Who isn't a road warrior?
Jack.
He is.
No, but like road warriors are like the cops. That's what Mad Max was.
But he said, "I'll teach you the road warrior ways."
He said, "I'll teach you the ways of road war." I don't think he's a road warrior, though.
Okay, I didn't really. I guess that.
I think that's part of the mythos. Like Max is a road warrior. They're those weird self-proclaimed cops.
Yeah, he's fighting for justice.
Yeah,
for whatever.
Well, until he went wackadoo.
Yeah.
Until he became Mad Max.
Yeah,
like basically.
I mean, that's the journey of it.
Yeah, fully
beyond road warrior. You know?
I mean, he was always kind of crazy, but then after the whole situation with his friends dying, he goes really off.
Yeah, but like him. But that's also like the thing that Max knows is road war. Okay?
Yeah.
You know? So like I feel like that's homage to like, you know, a thing, but I feel like fan service would be like Tina Turner or something for like the Thunderdome in the background or some shit like that, you know?
I mean, I think that at that point might just be agree to disagree because it just might be how I'm thinking of fan service versus how you're thinking of fan service.
Exactly, you know?
And it's like, it's not the biggest, I'm not like...
Well, and I think that's the thing is like, you're saying fan service, and most of the time when people say fan service, that comes across as like that term has negative connotation.
But then how language works, I'm not saying it in a negative connotation way. It's just how I was observing it. And I found it not bad, but kind of annoying in moments.
In this, there's even moments that you found a little annoyed with it.
Well, like that whole kicking her out.
But it's such a cool scene.
Yeah, but it still just kind of felt like, I don't know. It felt kind of like rehashing of the first. There were just moments that just felt so.
Do all lightsaber battles bother you in like Star Wars?
Why would all lightsabers bother me?
Because they're the same thing.
I mean, all the ones in those prequel sequels, yeah. Or no, the
sequel trilogy.
Yeah, the sequel trilogy, yeah, because they're terrible. No, but I could watch anything with Duel of the Fates playing. I could watch a cooking show with that, like, and I'd be like, you know, like,
and then we pour the molasses onto the
you know, like, yeah, let's go. No, I and it might be because it was just so, in a sense, so close together, and I don't know. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just I noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is the way to put it. I just noticed it, and it was very noticeable to me.
Fair.
And I didn't like noticing it because I find when that happens, it takes me out of the world.
Okay, interesting.
You know what I mean?
Because a lot of filmmakers like to do an homage like that, not as like it's for them. It's not like it is. I guess in the sense of what's fan service. The words say is like, remember when this happened?
Yeah.
You know?
And you're like, yeah, I do remember. Why? Because I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that happening because I've seen for, I don't know, a year straight, I watched Mad Max Fury Road every night when I went to bed.
Well, maybe you just shouldn't have watched it every night.
But I'm just saying, I'm a fan. Like, I know the movie. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I remember when he did that. I do. I don't need you.
But it's also it's also long-term storytelling to show the similarities of the characters.
Yeah, no.
You know?
I mean, I get it. I just saying I notice it.
And I think you were supposed to notice it.
Yeah. But it just and then that's all again, but that's my wiring of my brain. And then for some reason it takes me out more than it brings me in.
Fair.
That's just how.
Do you have a negative that you want to share?
There's the one negative that I was just gonna read. Mick LaSalle at the San Francisco Chronicle gave it a 25. It's awful, but it could be where movies are going, into a wasteland.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
So this is what I feel. So it's interesting is this movie in a weird way is it's about perspective. So it's like it's separated into 9 chapters, 9 parts, which I think I can see people not liking it, but to create more like a film series or a film franchise, it's always hard to find ways to make something fresh and new, and have a way to stand on its own feet in a franchise of things that can all feel the exact same movie over and over and over again. Like superhero movies, like through the Marvel universe, like the ones that really stand out are the ones that have like their own identity outside of just being this Marvel, superhero movie, or
an element to it that, like when Tony's going through his existential crisis after going to space.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's an interesting
or like
arc to
how
go through.
The Fast and the Furious movies have this identity of being bonkers, but by the fourth and fifth one, they're playing with action genre every movie. They found an interesting way to keep it fun and interesting and fresh, quote unquote, And I felt like that's a big thing that George Miller was able to do with a Mad Max Saga, Furiosa, was separating it into chapters, into this sense of like, because we're building this mythos. It's like this Greek myth that we have part 1, part 2.
Well,
part
it's in
3.
the name.
Exactly.
Saga.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, it's like for someone to get annoyed about it being in this episodic almost thing. It's like, well, it's a saga.
Yeah.
It says Mad Max Saga.
It's part of the saga of the. Well, I mean, saga also has its own like extending. I mean, they're playing a double entendre on the word saga.
Yeah, but it's just I go
which it's very well fitting.
Yeah,
and so that's why I think this movie stands out from all of it in a very good way, because it makes it really makes George Miller, look like a much stronger filmmaker in that sense, and a very great thing of like the franchise, the world of Mad Max, of Valhalla, will just continue to grow in a cool and large way if it can afford to.
Yeah, that's the price tag on it that we're worried about.
They were talking about, they wanted to do this originally as an animated series in the form of like Enter the Matrix, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of where it has to go.
Oh.
I know. Because it's so cool with all being live.
Yeah, I mean, that's coming as someone that's a huge fan of animation. I don't want Mad Max animated.
Yeah.
I want the...
And so when I say perspective is such a big part of this, is because, obviously, Furiosa is our main perspective through it all. But we do have very early on kind of this shift of learning about Dementis through Furiosa's perspective in a way, but very much in a generalized idea of how he's taking over Gasoline City. Gasoline City or just Gas City? Gastown, thank you.
Gastown, Bullet Farm, and the Citadel.
Yeah. Taking over Gastown. And one of my favorite moments was just so quick and subtle. And it's when they're up on the cliff and they're taking over the gas tank, the gas freight. Mm-hmm. And generally, because it's such a moment of like of a heist movie, that you would go down and you would film all of that up close, like the war boys jumping on and taking over and killing this person, and yet all we just get is just very small shit driving, and it happened and quickly, and Dementis just nodding with approval.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the fucking mind of Dementis at work here. And I felt there was just such expert filmmaking, just such well done craft, that we are seeing perspective through it in so many different ways.
Well, I mean, that was even with Fury Road though too, is that there's a little more in this one, I would just say, but there's not a whole lot of hand holding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to know more about Morton Joe and what his deal is, you got to go online and read about it.
Yeah.
A lot of Morton Joe's thing and mythos is very open to interpretation, and that's just how the world is. Because even then, it's like it's like The Road. There is no real explanation to what happened to the world. It's all little, like even in, I think it's the first one, is that you hear the radio talking about the shit going down, but they never really super explain what shit has gone down.
Yeah. And that's like the full through line of this movie. It was interesting that they kind of like do that quick little radio announcement of like, the world is coming to an end. Disaster. Blah, 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 blah.
Humans turning on each other.
Yeah. The fall of civilization. And God damn it. Fall of human civilization.
Well, and then I think it's a really cool idea to make it so this one and by connection, Fury Road, is that I
just remember what I was gonna say.
Okay, this isn't like 1,000 years in the future. Like a lot of these people remember the world before it fell, which creates an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Like Dementis remembers what it used to be like, and I think that creates a more layered experience.
Definitely, yeah. Especially for him, it's for his like character arc and journey.
Yeah, and why he's the way he is.
But the narration, so it begins with the radio thing, and then all of a sudden the history man is like doing a quick narration, and then we don't get that narration again until like chapter 4, and it just kind of like took me out because we got our it's introduced at the beginning, but since it's not for like another like hour and a half into the film, it just kind of was like, oh, and now we're just narrating this 45-day war. Or what was it? Not 45 day.
The 40-day war.
Yeah, the 40 day. It was the 40-day war.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, sure, but it's also needed.
But he was also the history man was kind of doing that. I just don't think they leaned into it hard enough on the get-go.
But if they lean into it too hard, then it's like kind of like, I don't know. It was just, that's where points kind of like get knocked down in this movie for me. And I think it's because it's in a way, it's kind of two movies in one, blended very, very well together.
Yeah.
Two short movies, I guess, didn't get very well done. And that was kind of like just its own thing. But our through line through it all is the perspective of Furiosa. And what was awesome was to see her character journey change from survival to vengeance in a flash of a moment, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was kind of like, she's a cool character because she is, at the end of the day, survival mode.
Yeah.
She is going to do what she needs to do to survive. And it's not like, it's kind of cool because it's like this vendetta movie, but it's not this tunnel vision vendetta where it's like, okay, well, he's kind of out of sight, out of mind because I have this other shit to deal with. And now it's just, I need to survive. And then once he becomes a possible end goal again, then she gets back on it. Yeah. And it's a kind of just a cool change because that vendetta thing is just so, everything I do is revolving around this.
It's like once she is given away by Dementis, or taken, I guess, by Immortan Joe.
I didn't really think he had much of an option.
Yeah, taken by Immortan Joe. It turned into, I mean, even with Dementis at that time and as a young girl, the ultimate goal is to get back to the Green Place. That is her ultimate goal. So through all of Dementis, it's just it's remembering the tattoo, the map of her for herself, and trying to find a way back, a way of time to escape from Dementis. It's survival still.
That just dawned on me. She lost the map
when she chewed off her arm. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
But she remembers it. She probably has it memorized,
Well, no, yeah. It's just, that's very symbolic.
Yeah. Well, also, yeah, because she's giving up the possibility of that.
Yeah. That's just,
for her vengeance. Yeah. Oh,
just didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Just didn't think about it.
Well,
I'm telling you, she chewed off her arm.
We'll call it canon. That she chewed off her arm.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like.
Anywho.
Very Mad Max move.
It very much is.
What is it? The Valhalla universe?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah, she goes from this like wanting to go to the Green Place. It's about survival, and then it's just surviving the Citadel, because she could have really escaped the Citadel at that point. After she escapes from the wives club or whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
She could have just escaped. She could have left. Well, I guess and then what in the wasteland,
I mean, that's kind of what Jack says.
Yeah. So it's about survival at that moment. And then once she joins with Jack, or I guess she is then, I guess, is she going to try to kill Dementis? Is that why she is on the bottom of the truck?
I think that was her escaping.
It was just her escape.
I think that was just her escape.
So it's just an escape point at this point.
I think.
Yeah.
And again, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Is like a lot of it is just you fill in the gaps. What do you think she's doing?
That's where I was at that point too.
You know?
And I'm like, as I'm saying this and I'm going down this rabbit hole, I'm just like, wait a second.
Because it's like, I don't think that he was yet an actual...
She didn't know that Dementis was over there fully, or it was still over there maybe, or what? No, she does, because he took over Gas Town. She knows that. Yeah, she knows that.
Yeah, but it's like that, it just wasn't an option yet.
Yeah.
And then it became an option.
And then when Jack comes back and is like, so she kicks, yeah, and that's what his thing is. Like, that's a big moment, is she gets kicked out of the truck, and she's in the middle of the wasteland, and it's kind of like well, what the fuck now? It's like, well, you got what you wanted, your freedom. So yeah, what now? And then Jack comes back and then offers her, a partnership.
Well, and the skills needed for what she actually wants to do, which is kill Dementis.
And then you don't really see that become a solidified thing until he's like, you can leave if you want. You're your own free person. You don't have to stay with me. And then she has that dream of Dementis and everything.
And that kind of reignites her vendetta.
And I felt like it was just very well visually told through all of those moments.
Do you think that woman that got killed was actually her mother, or is that just...
I think it was actually her mother.
Well, because it's like the green place is the land of many mothers. They're like a...
Oh, I didn't really think about that.
Like a community. And I was just... it doesn't matter, because that's how their community... takes a village,
Yeah.
But I was just wondering, I was like, do you think that's her actual biological mother, or is it just Ma? Because they just call it the land of many mothers. I don't know.
I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I just cares what you thought. Fuck me then.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
It's so rude. It's fine. I didn't want to know anyways.
I told you what I said.
It was rhetorical.
What's funny is that I respond with, yes, I do think so. And then you said like, well, what about this? And I was like, well, now I don't care.
It's the Spores Last of Us conversation all over again. Okay.
But yeah, so oh yeah, and then I guess the final thing for it all, where I was getting at with this, is you then end up having this great moment with Dementis and Furiosa at the end, and Dementis's monologue of you will still have that sorrow, you will still have all of that emptiness killing me. That's not going to bring him back, and I know because I am you. You're doing what I have done my entire life. So yeah, fucking kill me. Do you think I care, actually?
Yeah.
You got the upper hand on me. Good. Get me out of this fucking hellscape.
The full dead.
Yeah. And
I thought that was weird, though. That weird the history man doing these like
the mythos of Furiosa.
But then following with
then she told me the real.
Yeah, that's what was weird. I was like, well, if you had given us these three options: shoot him in the head, drag him through the desert.
What people know and say are these things,
and give us the but give us the option to pick which one was real, but then to follow with the line of, but she told me. I'm like, okay, then why did we do all these weird other flashes of these?
I actually liked that.
I didn't like that.
I liked that because what it does is now we know in the world. The word of the person of Furiosa and the legend of her that has spread around, and nobody knows the real story in the world, but we as the audience, we're privy to know that what she did is plant a fucking tree in him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. To go with the mythos legend thing, that seems so buck wild, and then the other two are so tame. It'd be kind of cool if there were three of them that were all pretty buck wild, and then we got to pick as the audience which legend we want to believe. All three of them are real or not, or you know what I mean? Like just to go with the saga, the Achilles, the Troy, to go with this whole like mythos thing. And I'm not saying I'm like about it. I'm just saying I just thought that was weird to give us a
little wish-washy, flip-floppy,
and just like to give us a concrete. Well, actually, what happened? I was like, that's kind of considering how we built it up because of the fact that he said some people say this and that.
But also, he's saying what she told me. We still don't even fucking really know. What she told him could be fucking a lie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just no. That's what she did. That's
is she really her mother? Is the woman at the beginning really her mother? Okay. So you want solidified things here?
What is happening right now?
You're like, you want, it's like, it could be that it's open-ended. You know, that we don't have to like see.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that writing moment.
Yeah.
For the history, man, I'm saying like how that was presented to us was odd. Because he brings up, some people say blah, blah, blah.
I feel like that's also just kind of a trope in like storytelling, like classic old Greek stories where it's like, some people say this, some people say this.
Yeah,
but I know the truth.
I just thought it was odd. I just thought
to use that trope in a Greek-like story
to tell us two possibilities of what happened, but then just kidding, what actually happened was. Yeah. I'm saying the way of doing that was just very odd to me. Like it should have been one way or the other. Like we didn't need these two weird hypotheticals that people are talking about because who gives a fuck? Because you're gonna tell us how it actually happened. It's not useful information, or give us three all buck wild options that we as the audience member get to pick which one we like the best and what we feel Dementus deserved. Mm-hmm. Because the other two were like, one was a mercy killing, one is how Jack died. So those are like poetic justice, I guess, in a way. Mm-hmm. And then you have this buck wild, very Mad Maxian Valhalla way to die. And I just was saying that what I'm saying is it would have been kind of cool if there were three Valhalla ways to die, and we just as the audience got to pick which one we like the best as Dementus's end. Because it'd be like the Inception thing. Did he wake up or did he not? It'd be like, how do you think Dementus died? Like, which one do you think is more the fitting way? That's all I'm saying. And that would have been also very Greeky and very saga-y, just to kind of let choose your own adventure. You know, you get to pick the ending. I just thought it would have been interesting. And it just being wish-washy was just kind of like, oh, because it's like wish-washy and then it's like, JK.
Well, it's interesting because like I really like that because as I was saying, it's like it's fun because we have the lore of what people say the Legend of Furiosa did, which is that like if they don't know, they don't know. They just don't know. But like so they're speculating is like what these people in the world only know about Furiosa was Jack and the mercy killing possibly thing, you know. Uh-huh. So they don't know the history of this acorn, of this nut, of this seed, sorry.
True.
And they don't know what the history of that seed means to Furiosa and the symbolic nature of the green place that it is.
Yeah, I get that. I guess I better actually to kind of tag on.
The people would never know
that option. Yeah, but the thing is that in this Mad Maxian world, this how crazy all these people are, those two, the ones that people are talking about are so tame for what this world is and what they do to each other. I think that's my issue with it.
Fair.
Having those two being the option are just so not where, you know, in the game of telephone where you know, it's like that's the best you could come up with. The Legend of Furiosa is she shot him in the back of the head, like,
or dragged him. Well, I mean, dragging him across the desert.
That's pretty good, but I mean, still, like.
And I think that's the thing is like some people that want to believe that Furiosa, the legend, who she is, she's more merciful than anybody here, than all of us. She has more human still left in her. And the one's like, no, she's a ruthless person.
Well, I just mean
she dragged him across the desert.
And like shortly before that, she wakes up in a maggot growing room. Yeah, you know, and I will make it nice for you in here. So it's like that.
She threw, like it could have been like she threw him down into the maggot creature woman thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like
sliced him limb from limb and left him. Oh wait, no. There's also they kind of allude to a couple other ones because there's like him being burnt,
right?
Like his mother.
Okay, maybe that's they are kind of escalating.
Yeah.
That's fair. They are the mercy killing, the dragging, and
then the truth that nobody would know is because nobody knows about the seed except for her and now the history man.
How does Immortan Joe not know
about the seed?
Yeah.
Would
he want to know where she got the seed to grow a fucking tree?
I mean, afterwards, we don't talk about that though because that's after the saga, and then she's, you know,
and then he dies shortly after.
Yeah.
I do, and that was another. It was like the Alien Covenant. I really liked that it led to, you could immediately put on Fury Road, and just have like a fucking 6-hour long Mad Max Saga. I just thought that was cool. And that was the same in the Covenant. It's like with that, you could put that movie on and then immediately put on the first one, and it would just go seamlessly into it. I just think it's so fun to do. Like especially if you are it's part of this larger franchise. It'd be so hard to not want to do that. The studio's like, we don't want you to do that. I'd be like, but I really want to. I really just want to just connect them. Just a little line.
Do you have any more thoughts with it? Like,
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. We all get it.
What do we get Fury Road? I think a 5, right?
Yeah, that was a perfect movie.
I say a 4. Come at me.
How about a 1? No.
What if I was just like, okay.
You have a heart attack? Do you remember like way back at the very beginning?
Witness!
Mediocre. When I did a fake review about Muppets Christmas Carol to you, and you thought I was being so serious.
Kind of hurt my feelings. Why would you talk about it like that?
Yeah, I'll give it a 4. What hurts it from getting from a 4 5? Some of the CGI, the narration, the weird narration, the wishy-washy of like kind of like two films' identities mixed with one, still done very, very well.
It's done very well, and I think that the whole saga thing is a cool idea. I just don't think it was executed very well. This almost,
but it was executed very well. You know what I mean? It was
but
like
not
everything
perfectly.
Everything was executed so fucking good. It
wasn't perfect though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even then, it's like this whole thing is very episodic, but the way they did the episodic felt weird. It almost feels like we should have done this as like an HBO miniseries.
Some of it feels forced.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, there we go. Is that some of this just kind of feels like forced narrative to get you this background story of Furiosa,
which obviously we know that that's what they're doing. It's a fucking movie. Like they are forcing it, but it's every now and then, you know, the veil gets dropped and you can just really see it for that, and that doesn't. And
did you feel that Furiosa and Jack were actual lovers? Or do you feel like they were just partners?
I meant to bring that up before, too. I was going to ask you the same question. I don't know. I mean, they're trauma bonded.
I actually do think they are lovers. Because it seemed like, I know that their whole thing is like just foreheads.
Well, yeah, that's the mother's thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. But there is this, that at the very end when they're kind of doing that, it alludes to almost them to kiss before they're separated in a way. But it's... their way of looking out for each other is so much stronger than just like partners in a way. I don't know.
But again, that's just kind of this.
I'd come back for you like that.
That's kind of just what this world is. And that's kind of what I was saying about the ending thing is like, I feel like that they did both, and that's kind of for you. And it's not like, oh, I can't figure out how to make the movie end. It's, I want you to decide. Do you want them to be lovers, or do you want them just to be very close friends?
And I guess also to kind of build a little bit more for Furiosa's character, especially going into Fury Road, is even it doesn't even have to be romantic. It just, as they are with Jack and Furiosa. The reason why she is trepidatious with Max is she's already experienced this.
Well, yeah, because even Max...
and she doesn't want to experience that loss again, maybe.
Well, and even Max and her have the same kind of relationship where you're like, you could have lend it over to being romantic in nature by the end, but it doesn't have to be, and that's kind of how you want to interpret it.
Yeah.
I don't think her and Jack were romantic. I think that they were just bonded very hard, but not in a we're going to survive the wasteland together, not in a romantic way.
Fair. Okay.
So... all right,
4? I like that. Yeah. 4. Yeah, 4.
Sweet. What are we doing next week?
Alita. Battle Angel.
Nice.
How do you not remember these things?
I do. It's more, I'm trying to make it natural.
Oh.
You dick.
Well, no, because you ask me even sometimes at home, and I'm like...
well, yeah, but like in this moment, I did remember, but it's...
okay.
Later. Okay.
I'll just remember that that it's you're performing a little bit.
I did.
I'm not used
we're
to
always
it,
performing on this thing. I did the Connect to Stars, and it said it brought up Robin Wright and Zendaya, but I feel like we just did Robin Wright.
And we, or is it just because of here?
I don't know. Do you like that, or do you want to do something else? I kind of like Robin Wright to Zendaya.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
So, yes, join us next week. And if you have any comments on how to connect Robin Wright to Zendaya.
We did do Robin Wright. I remember now.
I can change that real quick.
Can you just...
keep both, or...
Just, we'll just do it. Let's just do it.
redo both?
No. Let's just do it.
Okay.
No.
But that was episode
No.
That was episode 244 with a review of Furiosa, which we gave a 4 out of 5. Please join us next week for Alita. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Alita. I'm curious about.
I keep wanting to say Attila.
Attila the Hutt.
Yeah. Attila the Hutt?
Oh, that's
a very different. Whoa! I just got such an interesting image in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. A Hun hut.
Yeah.
A Hun hut. Isa. Ooh, that's fun. I like that a lot. Attila the Hutt. Can I make that?
Yeah, you probably can.
I could probably make
Think about it. Okay, calm down. But yeah, I'm excited. I've never seen it. I don't think you've seen it. And it's a continuation of our badass female lead.
Yeah. So please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. That's where all of our promos are. On those promos, where you can see what's coming up in the following weeks, our Linktree link, and on there you can find where we put everything, which is Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We do have cameras, so if you like watching stuff, I guess there you go. I always feel awkward saying that because I never watch podcasts personally.
Some people do,
and some you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. This is Tommy.
What's funny is I watch a lot of podcasts and I listen to a lot of just like there's some podcasts I just listen to, some podcasts that I like to watch.
I mean, I do like that little Spotify thing. Sometimes I will be watching and they'll be talking about a video and I'll be able to turn it on and just see the video and then I can turn it off and put it back in my pocket.
That's probably
cool.
why. I think that's why they added.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, sorry.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's Mixtape. Bye.
I got Pete.